Welcome to week 4, a whole month in. Here's your exercises for this week. Good luck. Tricep dips. So coming onto a lounge or a step, we're going to put our hands on it just outside our chest here, bending our knees, and we're going to push up onto our heels whilst extending our arms. Our lower limbs here are our weight point. So we're going to bend our elbows so it lowers our weight towards the ground and drive back up by pushing up through your hands. To make it easier, bring your feet back towards you so that your feet's carrying some of the load, so it's less for your shoulders and your triceps. To make it harder, extend the limbs so that the load is further away from you. Glute bridge marching. Coming onto your back, bringing your heels towards your bottom, hands on the mat and our head resting on the mat. We're going to think about activating our pelvic floor, our transverse abdominis, and getting a good spine position. So if you have a big pelvic tilt, we want you to tuck that pelvis under to get a nice neutral spine. Whilst we're here, we're going to activate pelvic floor, transverse abdominis, as well as our glute muscles. We're going to push up through our heels, coming up into our glute bridge position, and from here we're going to march. So lifting one leg off at a time, maintaining the weight in our heels, and keeping that pelvic floor and transverse abdominis activation the whole time, and then coming back down. Push-ups on our toes. Coming up into our push-up position, we want to activate our pelvic floor and our transverse abdominis before we go through the movement. So think about those 2 points. Activate, keeping my spine nice and straight. I'm going to lower my chest to the ground. Plank on our knees. Coming into our plank position, bring our knees onto the mat. Our elbows come onto the mat. I think about activating my pelvic floor and my transverse abdominis, maintaining that hold throughout. You'll notice that my spine and my bottom are in line here. It's a nice strong position. I don't have my bottom up and I don't have my bottom down. Maintaining that pelvic floor and transverse abdominis hold, we're going to hold this position. Banded sideways walks. Wrap the band around your knees. Pull tight on the band, keeping nice and upright. We're going to take a big step sideways and follow it with our other leg. The band puts pressure on our legs, which we have to counteract to keep them out. So we don't want our knees touching while we're doing it. We want to fight that, knees outwards, chest upright. You will feel this in your glutes, your legs, as well as your arms from keeping that band nice and tight. If you have a circular band, one that's tied off, you can put that on and you don't have to hold on to it. The further we go down the body, so if I was to tie this and pop it around my ankles and do it, that makes it harder. So the easier it is, the further up it is, the harder it is if it's near my ankles. Again, you can adjust your TheraBand resistance as well. Grab a lighter band when you're starting out if that's difficult. Side plank on our knees. So coming into our plank position with our elbow under our shoulder, we're going to bend our knees and tuck our feet behind so it's near our bottom. From here, we're going to activate our pelvic floor and lift our hips up to the sky. So my knees are my anchor point on the ground as well as my elbow. From here, we're going to hold, maintaining that pelvic floor contraction. You'll feel this in your side muscles here in your obliques. Single arm and single leg extension. Coming onto all fours, we want our wrists under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. In this position, we activate our pelvic floor and our transverse abdominis. We hold and we raise one arm to the sky. You'll notice there's no movement in my pelvis, and that's because the activation of my pelvic floor and my transverse abdominis, it helps to control my spine and stabilize my pelvis, so I don't have any movement here. Nice and stable. Activate both your pelvic floor and transverse abdominis between repetitions, and extend one leg. Return to position, extend the other leg. pointed clams. So wrapping a band around your knees, we're going to get in our clam position. So on one side, bringing our feet towards our bottom and making sure that we tuck our bottom hip in line with our spine there. Grabbing the band, small leg lifts. You'll feel this in the small gluteal muscles. That's what we're trying to activate here, and the band helps to add resistance.